Welcome to the weekend. You're rocking with Sunshine.
Yeah, welcome everybody to Making Music in the Midwest. My name is Sunshine. I'll be your host. Started up this podcast just to want to show how music is made a little differently in the Midwest compared to the coast, California, New York, Florida. We're in a different world here in the middle of the country. We're a long ways away from those big cities. So things are done a little bit differently around here. Just wanted to give you guys a little taste, a little flavor of what we got going on in the Midwest. And, we're going to start off episode 1 right now with my origin story. Tell you a little bit about me. That way you can get to know your host, get to know Sunshine here. And then we can build from there. So, we're going to start off. I was born November 24, 1986 in Sheldon, Iowa, a small town, about 5,000 people. Grew up out on a farm near Archer, Iowa, which is, that town has about 150 people. And grew up out, like I said, out on a farm. Grew corn and soybeans. Luckily, my dad didn't like the smell of animals, so we didn't have animals. I don't like the smell of them either, but that poop smells like money, man. So, grew up on the farm in the countryside, out in the middle of nowhere, kinda, and went to a smaller school. Started kind of getting into music and stuff. Liked hip hop at a young age. Really into Tupac. All Eyes on Me was my first CD that I ever bought. Before that, I had some tapes. Warren G, Regulator, Coolio, Gangsta's Paradise. Some of my first listening tastes. Then I got into writing some of my own stuff, trying to make beats or usually just found some beats online and tried to write stuff. But in high school, I had absolutely no idea how music was structured or how to write or anything. But looking back on some of it is kind of funny, but we got to start somewhere. So I was rapping in the hallways in high school, and get you a little idea of what that's like in a Midwestern farm community is out of I think there was about 400 kids in our high school, and I think 7 of them were not white. So yeah, it was a very, 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 very white school. So I'm sitting there rapping in the hallways, and it was interesting. Stood out a little bit on that. Just say the battles didn't last very long because I was the only person battling. It was like me against a wall. But so graduated in 2005. Moved to Los Angeles to go to art school. I wanted to go into video game design or something like that. Found out that drawings and stuff like that, that in-depth was not quite my thing, so I went to Iowa City, Iowa, University of Iowa, go Hawks. Went there for pre-med for a couple years. My oldest sister's a doctor, so I figured, sounds like fun. And, doctors, surgeons, at the time I was looking to be a plastic surgeon, they make pretty good money. But, quickly realized that you can't do something just for a paycheck. You gotta kind of enjoy what you're doing and the reasons behind it. But while I was at Iowa City, while I was at the U of I took a modern dance class, and it was just it was me, one other dude, and 20 girls in the class, and I definitely stood out as what's this weirdo doing in this dance class? But it was fun because I learned a little choreographed dancing, and it was just kind of weird stuff, I thought, rolling around on the floor and whatever, but learn a little bit of it. And anyways, our final project, I was able to make a music video using some of the dance steps, like choreograph a music video. So I did that. To make that, I had to have a song. So I decided to learn I made a beat. Or no, I found a beat. I don't know. And anyways, did something with a beat. Made a song. It was cheesy. And then made a music video to it, and ended up putting that all together onto a DVD for it. So I made the song, put it with the video, edited the video and all that. And I had no idea what I was doing, but I did it. I figured it out, and before I turned it in, I played it in my apartment, and my cousin, best friend, he's watched that, looking at it. He's like, "Hey, man, you made this all by yourself?" Yeah. It's like, dude, what are you doing here? You should go to school for that. So I did. So left Iowa City, went to SAE Institute of Hollywood, California, School for Audio Engineering, downtown Hollywood. Went there to learn how to work the studios, how the music industry works, and how to do it for real. So learned everything in and out of the studio, everything from setting up equipment, recording, mixing, touched a little bit on mastering, production, working with bands, networking, all that stuff. So learned a lot there. And being in Hollywood at a music school, I was surrounded by a lot of musical talent. Like, I'm gonna say myself, I'm more of an all-around kind of intelligence, like everything. But as far as like musically talented, like picking up a guitar and playing something or whatever, me and instruments don't get along too well. But I met some guys there, Brian on guitars, Paul on saxophone. Man, these guys are good. And they were just in class with me. So that was cool to have classmates that are that talented, and we made some cool music there, and really picked up my vibe, kind of learned what I'm looking to do and honed in on my music skills, and then moved back to the Midwest after that, because it was 2008. A little thing happened with the economy, and shortly before that, a little thing happened with the music industry. I don't know if you've ever heard of Napster, but after the whole internet Napster thing happened, there was not much gonna happen for a new career in the music industry. So moved back to the Midwest. Got a gig as a karaoke host. So that was fun. But shortly after I left California, I went out to Australia to record my first album, because one of my classmates went on to further schooling in Australia. And oh man, Byron Bay Studios, they have some amazing studios down there. It was a great week. We recorded an album, knocked it out, enjoyed Australia Day, which is basically like the Australian version of America's 4th of July, but they really couldn't give a reason behind it. It was just a day that they called it Australia Day and partied. So it was a good time. I somehow came home with a flag that I think I was wearing that day. I don't know. It passed customs, so it's cool. But record my first album there. Did that under the name V-Hull, V.Hull. Album's name is Let It Ride. It's on iTunes if you'd like to listen to it, or Spotify or wherever. SoundCloud, I think I got free downloads on there for it. Did that. Album didn't do so well. I had no idea how to market an album or distribute it or anything, and Well, it was my first one. And some songs were alright, other ones were yeah. So, was karaoke hosting, doing these little shows in like little dive bars all over rural South Dakota, Iowa, Minnesota. And that's where I really learned how to get a presence on the microphone, because I had to stand up in front of crowds of a bunch of random strangers who were usually a little drunk and usually hated karaoke. Didn't want to see me in there. Some little punk kid coming in there trying to throw a party. And that's why I learned how to work a crowd, any type of crowd. Man, all sorts of things happened there. It was a crazy time, man. But that's where I got my name, Sunshine. So I went to a show in Minnesota at was a hotel bar that we do like a Friday, Saturday night show. So we go there and stay overnight for the weekend at the hotel and hang out, whatever. But my first show there, went up, introduced myself to the bartender and said, "Hey, what's up? What's your name?" Say, "Hey, Kyle." He said, "That's not gonna work." I said, "Why's that?" I said, "Well, we got a." So there was an old karaoke host or another host named Kyle, and he's like, "We can't. That's too confusing. That ain't gonna work." So he's like, "How about we call you Babyface?" So we're young and I shaved my skin and kind of look like a baby face. Pretty nice. I'm like, no, we're not. I'm not gonna come in here and every time you say, "Hey, what up, baby face?" No, that ain't cool. So he like, looks at me again. Got spiky red hair. He's like, how about Sunshine? Like, Sunshine will work. So ever since then, it's stuck, and that's what they've called me. That's been my stage name. So, did some karaoke hosting, did some house parties, had some friends in college around there, did some house parties. That's where I really got into DJing. It was a good time. Man, moved up from house parties to nightclubs. Had a residency at Wiley's in Sioux Falls. While I was resident there, we got voted local best #1 nightlife. So that was pretty cool. And that's where I really learned how to rock crowds and how to keep a party moving, get people dancing, keep people going. And that's also where I met my wife. I was DJing and she was there having a good time. Comes up on stage, asks for a song, and I said, "Well, you give me your phone number and I'll play your song." She's like, "Oh my gosh. Okay." Writes it down. Rest is history, man. So, yeah, then while I was DJing there, did start up a little band called Sunshine and the Foster Child with my buddy Alex Foster. He's a metal drummer. Always been in metal bands and stuff, like just crazy stuff, man. And I'm like, yeah, that and hip hop should be fun. Hip hop's a lot about the drums. So we we worked together and made some tracks and played some shows and did we did a lot of opening acts. I think we might have got paid for part of a show once, so that was cool. So we're pretty much big time there. I think we made like $50 once. Yeah, so we played some shows, and then as I got more with my wife, and we had our second child, so it became family time, because when it came nighttime and I would head off to a show, both my little babies, little kids were like, "Daddy, no, don't leave. When are you coming home?" And it's hard to go out and play a show when you got that at home. So, because your heart's not in it and your heart's somewhere else, and my heart just wasn't on stage. So I did some family time for a while. Watched my kids grow up. Beautiful. We got the little Wyatt, my little boy, and Lily, my little girl. Don't forget Katie, my wife. And watched our family grow. And during that time, I was working, doing vehicle graphics, another type of rapping. I was rapping cars. Started my own company in 2017 called Rappability in Sioux Falls. Specializing in rapping cars, making them look cool. Got a local best. Then I sold it and moved to down by Miami, Florida, to go work at Metro Raps, which was the #1 rap shop in the world for the last 2 years running. So that was an amazing honor to be invited to go work with the best in the world there. Learn a lot about big business. And then we did a car there for Rap Like a King competition, which is vehicle raps. Again, not music, rap. Rap with a W. Did this car. It was like the creature of the swamp lagoon, or the creature of the rap lagoon. And it was just sick. Like an Acura NSX with printed chrome. Thing looked like a lizard. And put a fin on top and stuff. And it was just nuts. And going through that process with that team, inspired me to write a song about the project. So I wrote the song Rap Like a King, and that got me back into music, because there had been a while there that I hadn't done anything with music. I'd fiddled with it a little bit, but nothing serious. There was no drive, there was no push for it. I just kind of did. I was away from it for a while. Made that song, and it got me back into it. It's like, all right, dude, let's get going. So I already had a little goal set to make a bunch of beats and make some tracks. So got pushing on that. When Florida didn't work out so well. My family, we all missed the Midwestern lifestyle and all the family and friends that we had back here. So we moved back to the Midwest, the end of 2019, and now we're bought a house, living in a small town here, and I am in my basement where I have a nice room that I called dibs on as soon as we looked at the house and said this would be my studio. It's a nice little locked off room, corner of the basement. I got HVAC in here, I got ceiling fan stuff all set up. Got my speakers and mics and the whole shebang set up here. And that's where I'm working on my new album. I've got a bunch of songs written, recorded. Just working on the mixing part of them right now. Getting them ready to go. And so we're working on the steps of my new album and getting songs ready to release and releasing them. And the fun part about that is that the music industry is completely different than it was when I first learned it back in 2007, 2008. A lot has happened. There's been this little thing called the internet and streaming services that has changed how everything works. So get myself a little more caught up on how that's all working, to be able to market this stuff better. And pretty excited because for the last 10 years I've been working on marketing, a little bit in a marketing field, an advertising field. So pretty excited to see what I can come up with to get this music out there. And hopefully make more than $50 off it this time. I'm still tracking the royalties from Let It Ride. It's released in 2010. And I think I'm up to about $65. I think in the last month I made 4 cents off of Spotify and YouTube and Amazon and other streaming services. So yeah, that money just rolls right in, man. But anyways, that's the origin story. That gives you the background of Sunshine, who I am, where I came from, where I'm at now, and where I'm headed. So stay tuned. In coming up episodes, I'm going to introduce you to my home studio. Show you a little bit of what I've done here, a couple of things I've picked up along the way. And yeah, and I'll let you in on how the album's going, what we're working on there, a couple of the tricks that I've picked up, and what we've been doing here. See if I can't get some of my boys on the show here with me to chat a little bit about their experiences with making music and playing shows and all that good stuff in the Midwest. Because, man, it's different. I'm telling you, it's different. It's definitely a grind. But it's a grind anywhere. So, anyways, thank y'all for tuning in. I am putting all these shows on YouTube as well, so I'll put the link in the show notes here when we get that. If you want to watch on there, you can listen on here, or whatever works best for you. I'm all in, man. So, thank y'all for tuning in. Catch you next time on Making Music in the Midwest. Sunshine, let it ride.